Good evening and welcome to TalkSports, our weekly program where we speak with the movers and shakers of sports, the sportsmen, the sportswomen, administrators, coaches, whoever involved in sports. We chat with them. Well, this week we'll be featuring the Team West Indies, I should say, members of Team West Indies. As you know, West Indies preparing to defend its ICC Men's T20 World Cup title. And no doubt the guys, a lot of discussions have been going around about the team. Well, whenever a team is selected, there will always be discussions and debates as to whether or not folks, should be selected, should not be selected. And then there was a whole bust up between the legend Curtly Ambrose and Chris Gale. And certainly there have been a lot of comments in the regional media about that. But West Indies will be preparing with the two warm-up matches next week. As a matter of fact, next Monday, they'll be playing Pakistan in their first warm-up match, and then Afghanistan on Wednesday. That's October 20th, so the 18th and the 20th. And their first game in the group stage will actually be against England at Dubai International Cricket Stadium in Dubai on October 23rd. So next week, in fact, West Indies begin its quest in earnest. This week, the coach, Phil Simmons, the captain, Kieron Pollard, and the vice captain, Nicholas Pooran, well, they all trini affair, as we should say. They have been meeting with the media and speaking to the media, and we'll be featuring their comments. Very interesting comments from the coach in particular, and then the captain, Kieron Pollard, as well, and then supported by Nicholas Pooran. I invite you to please listen to what these guys have to say in preparation for the World Cup T20 in Dubai.
Introduce the West Indies head coach, Mr. Phil Simmons. Phil, thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you, guys, and apologies for the late start.
So as usual, I'm just going to give a brief on the process that we use to take questions. If you have questions, as I've already mentioned, you could start placing them in the Zoom group chat. I will acknowledge you with my voice. I'll ask you to unmute your microphone. When you do so and you ask your question, please remember to remute your microphone while head coach is answering, just so that we don't get any significant feedback. I'm seeing indication from Lennox Aldred, and that will officially start today's engagement.
Greetings, guys. Glad to be back again.
Hi, Lennox. Hi.
Yeah, man. Coach, I guess I can set the tone by just asking generally. A couple of guys, you guys just reached down there. I think you're supposed to train today, if I'm hearing correctly. So just generally set up. Oh, tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. So just generally set up how things has been and the mood and everything. That's my first question.
Well, the mood, I don't know what kind of mood I can tell you. We've been all who flew from the Caribbean. We've been 6 days. Today's our last day in quarantine. 6 full days in your room. So today's the last day. So we wait on our COVID result to come back tonight. And once it comes back and we're all negative, then we start practice tomorrow morning. The mood has been good. We've been chatting to one another regularly, even though it's only on WhatsApp and Zoom and what's the next one? Botin and everything like that. So the mood's good.
Is one question this time, Dario?
All right, Lennox, I'll permit you with 2 because it seems like you're unaware. And then
we used to 2 with other press conferences. So I'll just figure it 2,
Yeah,
sorry about that.
Today. Go ahead.
But yeah, man, just one other question, Coach. obviously, with the IPL going on, we see that Russell not playing today. This must be a concern for you with his injury coming into the World Cup.
No, not really. We've been in constant contact between our medical and KKR's medical, and he's been batting in the nets. He's been running at a certain level, so he's close enough to fitness. There was a talk out. I don't know if it was just on social media, but he might have been up to play today as a batsman, but they've gone against that, and we see how he moves forward. But he's been progressing really well.
Thanks, Coach.
No problem.
Hi, good day, Coach. Roger from the
Hi.
Express.
Roger,
Just
how
wanted
are
to
you?
find out, were you surprised about the negative reactions concerning the team selection prior to your departure?
Nothing surprises me these days, Roger. Everybody has their opinions. When the four of us sit to select our teams, we try and select the best team that we think possible to win the tournament we're going to or the series we're playing in. So I think we do that job. And we expect there to be people who don't agree with our selection. So you get these things. It doesn't surprise me.
Good morning, Coach. Just a follow-up question to that. In terms of the negative impact that is having on the team, or is there any negative impact on that team? And what would you want to say to the Caribbean people in light of all the controversy that's going on right now?
Well, I don't think it has a negative impact on the team. I think the guys who are here know what they're here for. We as a staff know what we're here for, and we're all going into it with our eyes open and looking to enjoy what we're doing here. The only thing I can say is that people need to back us in the things that we do. Sometimes we're closer to things than the people who are commenting outside. So we need to be backed in the decisions that we made. But right now, what we need is the backing and the good vibes from everybody, because we are going into a tournament in 10 days' time.
Brandon, please proceed.
Hi, good afternoon, Coach. Hope all is
doing,
well.
Brandon? All is good.
You were seen at the CPL matches. You were seen at most of the matches during the CPL. How impressed were you with the level of cricket being played? And in particular, Romario Shepherd. How impressed were you with Shepherd's performance?
I was impressed with everyone's performance. Shep did well. Ravi Rampal did well. What's his name? Odin Smith. You can call. There's a lot more players I can call. We saw young Drakes in the final, what he's done. So I was really impressed with the level, with the quality of players we have coming into our cricket. And it's not just for T20 cricket, because a lot of these guys who perform in CPL are also going to go on to maybe play Test cricket later on and ODI cricket. So it's impressive that we have all this talent in the Caribbean.
Leighton Levy.
Morning, Coach. How are you doing?
Morning, Leighton.
Morning, everyone as well. Coach, two questions, 1A, 1 and 1A. First of all, are you concerned about the form of some of your players, your vice captain more specifically, Nicholas Pooran, who's been struggling for form right through this CPL and into the IPL, going into the tournament, which starts, as you said, in about 10 days. Of course, the West Indies start their defense on the 23rd. And while I'm asking that, can you divulge what role do you see Chris Gayle playing in this setup once the World Cup begins?
Well, the thing about it is that once we sit down and we look at things, it's a case where I'm not too worried about Nicholas. I think Nicholas has been batting well. I think in CPL he played well. There's a lot of pressure on him there. There's going to be more pressure here, but I think that he is working hard enough. He's doing all what he has to do, and sometimes it doesn't come off, but it will come off. So I'm not worried about him. Chris, we have specific roles that we've put on Chris, and we trust that he is going to be ready and informed and everything. Having had a short rest from the game and from the bubble, he's going to come back fresh and ready to do and produce what we asked him to do.
All right, thanks, Coach.
No problem.
Akeem Green.
Hey, good morning, Coach. I just want to find
Akeem.
out, given West Indies, bilateral series, things don't go well for them, but they're such a good tournament team. Does that give the guys added confidence, irrespective of their current form in IPL or they had in CPL, that they seem to play well together in these major tournaments and they could defend this title?
I think that's a good point, and that is something that we look at and we know. And as I said, in the 15 or turned out to be 11 games that we had together, is one of the things that we need to get a bonding at the team, a bonding at the squad, and once we have that bonding and that understanding arose, we do well in tournaments. So it's a point that we have been looking at all the time.
Tamika, please proceed. All right, Tamika, I'm not hearing you. I'm not sure if you're speaking on mute.
Sorry, Dario. Sorry, this is Ryan. Sorry. Yeah, my Zoom was in trouble. Sorry, I had to use hers. Sorry about that. Coach, how are you doing? I'm glad that
I'm good, Ryan.
Coach, just to ask you about the Jason Holder in the reserves. I know that you have a particular interest in Jason. You're also a big fan of Jason. You've not made that a secret. How tough a decision was that for you personally as a member of the selection panel to have Jason on the reserves as opposed to the main squad?
It is a tough decision. It has been a tough decision. It's as you say, I am a fan of his ability. Just at this 15, it was a difficult decision, but it's a decision that we think we've got right in this case.
Thanks, Coach.
No problem.
Danielle.
Hi, Phil. Just a question about the squad that you selected. There are players here, maybe more power hitting in this squad than any other across the World T20, across the other teams. I was just wondering if maybe you're slightly concerned that there isn't someone to play the Marlon Samuels kind of role that helped win West Indies the 2012 and 2016 finals. Do you sometimes worry that maybe there is a vacancy for an anchor role that isn't quite there in this squad?
I don't think you can say that. I think we have a lot of players who can play roles like that. I think we look at, yes, we have power hitters and everybody can hit, but you still have people like Lendl, Hetmeyer, who've batted through innings. We see how Hetty's been batting over the last 2 or 3 games. We still have Bravo, who went up earlier. We now have Chase in the squad, who, so there's quite a few players who can step up and play that. Who decides and who takes on the mantle, we'll see as the tournament goes on.
Thanks.
Thanks, Danielle. And we're going to have 4 questions to end today's engagement. So we're going to go to Gavin Richards first. Ricardo Chambers will come in immediately after. And Mark Goodrich Boyce will be thereafter. And then the final question of today's engagement will be from Joel Bailey. Guys, please proceed.
Thank you, Dario. Coach, just a question relating to this selection. A number of guys who would have performed well in the CPL and then would not have made the team, having failed or having not met the fitness requirements. Are you a bit concerned as a coach that so many young, talented players were unable to, meet the fitness requirements to be selected for the West Indies team?
Yeah, it is a concern. I think that quite a few of them we've had a chat with now again, and they know that we want them to be part of the squad, but there are certain criteria that have to be met. It's as you say, it's a concerning thing, but again, players have to take responsibility. This is one area that, you can't, it's hard to force you to do that. It's one area that you have to take responsibility for and make sure that you get past that level. And then with your skills, you're going to be part of it.
Coach Ricardo here. Half of my question was answered earlier. But can you give us an update on Obed McCoy and how he's doing? I mean, we know he's had some injury issues this year. What's the latest on him?
Obed's been good. Obed's been doing quite a bit of training in St. Vincent before leaving. And as I said, we've been here in the room for 6 days. So from tomorrow, we start back with the physical work, but also the bowling work.
Anma.
Hi, good morning. Coach Simmons.
Morning.
Morning, Dario. Good morning, everyone. I know you touched on it a bit earlier, Coach Simmons. Just want to ask a bit about, for you to explain more in depth, the decision to name Jason Holt among the reserves. Even in today's paper, a number of the legendary former West Indian players have been coming out and speaking about it. I think cricket fans will want to know, the rationale behind a decision like this.
Yeah, I think people would want to know, and again, it is a case where we thought for this squad, when we named the 15, the balance of the squad that we had, that he wasn't in that 15, so at the end of the day, we had to leave in one of the reserves. We have, Andrew Russell, we have Fabian Allen, we have, so for the balance of the squad, we thought that he would be one of the reserves for this.
Final question from Joel.
Hi, good morning to all. Wishing everybody the best. Yes, there were some selections which raised eyebrows, both in the reserves and the 15-man squad. Ocean Thomas and Hayden Walsh Jr. in particular in the 15-man squad, especially that they didn't do much in the CPL this year. And also Darren Bravo as part of the reserve, because Darren Bravo has hardly been given a look in the West Indies T20 squad. And he also didn't do too well in the CPL, but he was named as the reserve. Wouldn't explain those selections?
Well, the same thing goes. When you see like 15, we look at the balance. You talk about Hayden and O'Shane bowl well in the games that he play, bowl quick, which is what we want him to do and which he continues to do. We've had feedback from Rajasthan Royals. Hayden was the man of the match in the Australia series. We keep talking about CPL. You talk about Darren Bravo. Darren Bravo was the next batsman on the line as an out-and-out batsman who've done well in T20 cricket and one-day cricket. So that's the things we have to look at when we trying to balance off the team. And at the end of the day, we think that the balance we had the right balance, and the reserves are the ones looking for that extra place if anybody gets injured. So I think at the end of the day, we think we got it right. So it ended up like that.
Thank you, Joel, and thank you everyone that posed questions this evening. Captain of the West Indies T20 team, Mr. Kieron Pollard, who has made himself available today to take your questions. And he's looking forward to speaking with you as usual. And I'm looking forward to facilitating such an engagement. Kieron, good evening. Thank you for being here.
Hi, Dario. Thanks for having me again, man.
Kieron, we're going to officially begin today's engagement with a question from Ian Wasson. Ian, please proceed.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Skipper. All the best.
Morning, thanks.
a lot of the fans have been concerned about some of the form of some of the players based on the CPL that is almost finished. They are concerned that some of the players are not showing some form. Are you sharing that concern, or are you confident that once the bell rings, everything will fall into place?
For me, not at all. CPL was so long ago, about a month ago. So that is something that, we won't take into question right now. Obviously, guys would have gone home who would not have gone to the IPL. Guys would have gotten time off. Then guys would have come here now and would have gotten time to just, reflect and done some quarantine and, looking forward to a big, World Cup tournament. If we look too much into the past, I think that's where we get ourselves, sometimes in trouble. So let's deal with what's in the present, and the guys that have confidence, we roll with them. The guys that doesn't at this point in time, we try to get them to that zone. We have some practice sessions. We have a couple more games, and we have the big one, which is the World Cup. So from a concern perspective, I'm not. I know when it comes to international cricket and the international stage, where individuals with personal pride will want to show, what they have to offer.
Thanks. And senior batsman Chris Gayle, he left the IPL bubble to recharge. Have you seen him? How is he after the little break that he have had from cricket?
Well, I'm guessing, that recharge was just like those iPhones, when the battery is low and, you're struggling, you want to, get some energy into you. But in all seriousness, this bubble life is very, very difficult at times. Guys would have moved, straight from playing the home series into CPL, then into an IPL bubble and into a World Cup. Sometimes you need a break, as a cricketer, as an individual. And I don't think enough attention is actually being placed, on mental health, for sportsmen and us cricketers at this point in time with all this bubble. People tend to, try to use other narratives as to what is actually being said and how the individuals are being, purported, and what is actually coming out, or how they feel as individuals. And I think, as I always say, my statement is walk a day in our shoes and you'll understand. But, I think what persons see, on social media and they look forward to seeing in terms of performances, they don't take that other part into consideration, at all. But be that as it may, he made a decision, for himself, and I'm looking forward to see a recharge, Chris, and hopefully he can, add value to us, in this important tournament.
All right, thanks, man. All the best.
Thank you.
Roger C. Prasad, please proceed.
Hi, Kieron. I just wanted to ask, I know there have been criticisms about the team selections. Has this been a distraction for you guys, or does it give the team extra motivation to succeed?
One thing I've realized in life, and I've come to understand, is that no matter what you do, you're damn if you do, you're damn if you don't. So even if you pick John Brown, Jim Doe, or Tim, we have criticism. Whatever you do well, you still get it. So for us, we're focusing on what's at hand, and this is a group of guys that we have, and this is a group of guys selected to go and try to defend a World Cup T20 trophy. So that's what it is.
Thanks. And second question, having seen the pitch conditions in the second half of the IPL, what do you think would be the key for you guys to do well in this World Cup?
I think we need to be good in all three facets of the game. I think the pitches in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and Sharjah all give something different, and it's not going to be the same game plan, throughout on the three surfaces. So we need to be smart. We need to play smart cricket. We need to sometimes play the conditions, and we need to have the personnel, or the right personnel at the right time, in order to get that job done. So that's from a batting perspective, and from a bowling perspective, the same thing in terms of your variations, as a bowler. So it's a bit tricky, but the good thing is that, majority of our squad would have gotten an opportunity to be in the UAE. Some would have gotten some game time, some would not have. But we'll just try to work it out and see, how best we could, formulate the best game plan to combat, those sort of circumstances.
Thanks, Skipper.
All right, just to save time and you guys having to hear my voice in between, I'm going to ask the next few people to come in immediately after the person before them is finished. So Lennox Aldred will be the next person, and then we'll proceed to take questions from Matt Roller, followed by Tim Wigmore, and then Brandon Corlett, Damian Best, and Avinish Ramzan. So just remember the person that's before you, and after they've completed their line of questioning, just feel free to proceed with yours.
Greetings, Skipper.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm good, man. Hanging in there. 2 questions, Skipper, but one first up. Andre Russell. It's grade 2 tier that he picked up in the IPL. Still mulling over his fitness. We're hearing talk that he may only be able to bat based on the situation. Are you comfortable with that if that is the case? And what would it mean to you if you miss Andre Russell bowling?
Again, before I make any assumptions as to what he can or he can't do, I think we need to do our assessment, first as a team. We haven't had the opportunity to see him. We have gotten reports as to what he has done, and I wouldn't want to get into trying to say what he can or he can't do at this point in time. I think we need to do our assessment, and let's judge from there. He's a critical person for our team, and we would love for him to be 100%, but we have to deal with what's in front of us, and let's see what happens over the next couple of days, as KKR, I think, have another game tomorrow, the semi-final, and then if they get you to the final on Friday. So when we see him as a management staff, we'll be able to assess and determine or ascertain, what he can or can't do. But we're looking forward to having a fit Andre Russell if possible.
Right, and the wickets down there in the UAE seem to be, if you bowl well as a spinner, you get wicket. And we see that our very own Sunil Narayan lighting up down there. I'm sure you probably wish you had him in your squad now, based on the form that you're showing.
Are you trying to imply something by chance?
No. I'm just saying that it would be nice if you would have a informed Sunil Narayan in this World Cup squad. What do you have to say about that?
I have no comments on that. I think enough has been said, on that. I think, persons have, explained the reason of his non-inclusion at this point in time. And, for me personally, obviously, I know Sunil as a friend, first before international cricketer. We grew up playing cricket together, and he's a world-class cricketer.
All right, thanks, Muskip.
Good afternoon, Kieron. Could I just start by following up on the same topic, Reed Narayan? Could you just clarify, is that to do with minimum fitness standards, why he's not in the squad?
Like I said previously, that has been explained. If I add my 2 cents or my words in how his non-inclusion came about, then it could be spinned or spun just like how he's bowling well and discharge of wickets in all different directions. So for me personally, let's deal with the 15 guys that we have here at this point in time, which is more important, and see if we can rally around these guys and see if we can, defend a title.
Sure. And just as a follow-up, if I can, you sort of mentioned the difficulty of going from bubble to bubble and the strain it's been putting on players' mental health. How are you doing personally? I think it's been a while since you last had a break.
Well, I'm fighting. I'm trying to, look beyond, certain things, but as an individual, sometimes it tends to, sort of, get to you, being able to not be free and, leaving one tournament straight into next. It's a bit difficult at times, but we have a job at hand. We have something very, very important, coming up in the next couple of weeks, and it's something that we as a team are looking forward to. So as the leader of the team, I try to, get myself in the best shape and the best order, mentally, physically, emotionally, and each and everything, so I can lead, to the best of my ability. So, I look forward to this World Cup. Obviously, I haven't played, World Cup in a long time. So, I think that's my motivating factor. And, to not play and be able to come and, represent the West Indies in a major tournament is something that I'm, looking forward to. And hopefully we can put everything aside and, tune out some very, very good performances.
Thanks. All the best.
Thank you.
Hi, Kieron. Can you kind of explain the importance of matchups and how that's evolved over the course of your T20 career?
It has been big. Sometimes, we tend to overlook, some of the data at times. For me personally, what you don't want to do is an overload of data and get too technical into that aspect of it, because the human element of cricket still needs to, come into play. But, there are certain sort of matchups at certain points in time in the game that can give you an advantage in whichever, you are doing at that point in time, which is batting or bowling, or if a particular batsman is not happy facing a particular bowler at any given time. So it plays a big role. But then sometimes I just feel, we tend to overload it at times. But, I think the psychological aspect of it sometimes plays on the opposition's mind or your mind if you're coming up against someone who you're not accustomed or you're not comfortable facing in a particular situation. But it plays a huge role, and tactically it works, more often than not.
Thanks. And as a team, as a captain, have you talked about whether the team will be taking the knee during this tournament and in the first game against England?
I think from my knowledge at this present time, I think it's something that we're going to continue because, it's something that we strongly, believe in, as a team. And, hopefully, again, we can just continue to show, our support for something that I think is close to our hearts.
And would you hope that England will do that alongside you during that first game?
Again, everyone has their own opinions on racism and Black Lives Matter and all these things. So I can't, tell them or what to do or expect anything, because sometimes when you expect things, from people, you tend to get disappointed. So again, sometimes you just have to look at the man in the mirror, and if we think it's something that is very, very important to us, we will do it. And if the opposition thinks that as well, it's totally up to them. If they don't, again, personal choices.
Cheers. All the best.
Hi, Captain Pollard. Hope all is well. Based on the selection policy, form and performance should be the core of selection. What is the rationale behind Darren Bravo's selection, since his form has been patchy and his performance as well?
Mr. Brandon Collette, with all due respect, right? How come all these questions you have is always about the selection of the cricket team at every given time?
I was trying to get something clear because Coach Phil was speaking about Bravo performing in ODI cricket and T20 cricket, and the stats of recent suggest otherwise.
Which stats of recent suggest otherwise? Because I don't know which stat you're speaking about. So if you can give me some clarity on that, I might be able to give you more clarity as to what you're trying to ask.
Right. Yeah, clarity, that's what we're looking at. So in Bravo's CPL performance in 2021, he scored 98 runs in 7 innings at an average of 16.33. And in his last 10 matches, whether it be in CPL or ODIs, he didn't pass 25 runs.
Be it CPL or ODIs, he didn't pass 25 runs. In last 10 matches. If I can remember clearly, I don't think that is actually accurate. I believe the Sri Lanka series we played, he scored 100 in that last game, and then we played a couple of ODIs only after that. Then he went into CPL. But, be that as it may, I believe the chairman of selectors would have, give some clarity as to each and every individual, how they made the 50-man squad. And I think for me to go on that, nothing is going to change on that. And by me trying to give you clarity on that, the 50-man squad is still not going to change. So just like I've been saying before, and I'm personally speaking to you at this point in time, every time you have to ask a question, it's all about an individual or individuals as to why they're being selected. I believe sometimes as an individual, as a Caribbean person and a journalist at times, you need to sometimes try to support us as cricketers and give us that positivity rather than each and every time try to question the selection of an individual on a team. Be it Darren Bravo, be it Jason Mohammed, be it why Hetma is not playing. That has been the train of your questions ever since you have asked all these questions going forward for the past how many years? For the past year. So I'm not going to have any clarity on.
Okay, thanks.
So you can ask somebody else that question.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for that. My final question would be, what's your message, to the Caribbean supporters?
My message to the Caribbean supporters, I think, is simple. Come and support, West Indies team. A lot of guys are looking forward to this, World Cup. We haven't played a T20 World Cup since 2016. We're the defending champions, and I think we have a very, very good team in terms of, experience and, a couple of young guys and guys who are looking forward to, make their name in T20 cricket. Ruston Chase did pretty well, in the CPL, and he gets his opportunity now. Young Hayden Walsh getting an opportunity to play, World Cup. We have the young Poorans and the Hetmeyers, and these guys who are the future of West Indies cricket looking to go and perform. So, the rally behind us, that's the most that we can ask, as cricketers, because we know that we are going to give 100%. We, just like everybody else, we have sacrificed a lot and given a lot, to be in this position. And when we go out there, we're going to play for that personal pride. So if you believe that that's what we're going to do, we will welcome your support. If not, we welcome whatever you have for us as well. But we know when we put on our jersey, we're going to represent the millions of people around the Caribbean and try to bring justice and try to do well and bring back that trophy to the Caribbean.
All the best. Go well.
Thank you.
Damien Best.
Morning, Skip. Dario, I think he answered my question already. Thanks so much, man.
No problem, Damien. Avinash Ramzan.
Morning, Skip. All the best for the T20 World Cup coming up. Just a quick one. West Indies have not done well in bilateral series, and that is reflected in the T20 rankings. In global events, though, things seems to be falling in place. What is it that fired the men in maroon at these World Championships?
I guess it's a global stage, but when you play bilateral series, a global stage as well. But I know I've said previously, I just believe, at times, if you look back from the 2016 World Cup, the amount of different guys that would have played, at different times, it would not have been the same bunch of guys who sort of represent the Caribbean when we play in a major tournament like the T20 World Cup. So those are some of the factors and the reasons. It's not excuses, but factors and reasons as to why sometimes we're not as consistent when we play, these series. But when it comes to the world event, more often than not, you get the right guys and the senior guys and guys who have had that experience before to come and play these sort of tournaments and try to win and bring glory. So I think it's just a mixture of that, and I just think as an entity, we just need to get it right so that we can be consistent, when we play, those bilateral series as well, and not just when we come, to these world events. But if that's how it is at this point in time, and the reality is that we play the world tournaments and we do pretty well, we'll take it as it comes and try to work together in order to try to perform consistently when it comes to the bilateral series.
Thank you. One more quickly. This World T20 is quite different from the previous two, one in 2012 and 2016. How challenging was the lead up to this one and preparation, really? And how confident are you of a successful defense?
To be honest, I wouldn't say, for me personally, I wouldn't say it was challenging. We got an opportunity to play, some sort of cricket, as a team and get to understand, ourselves as individuals and as a team, a lot more. So maybe the results, in the series, might not look into individuals that it was great, but I thought we got a lot of information, from that, block of matches, those home series there. And, guys going into CPL, as well, and, playing for their various franchises. Now guys get an opportunity to play IPL, get a feel for the condition, just like the other teams. So I didn't think it was challenging. It's just a matter of getting back together and, pulling back out the notebooks as to what we need to do, as a team, rather than, individuals that were playing for franchises recently and, hopefully put the pieces of the puzzle together. But as I said, we are pretty confident as to what we would have achieved over the last, couple months, as a team.
Good, thank you.
All right, and I will actually close out today's engagement by asking a question that Joel Bailey has put in the chat. He wanted your view And there's another question that I'll also facilitate. Joel Bailey wanted your view of the use of DRS in the World Cup, the drinks break being included. Obviously, we know what the conditions are like here in the UAE, and having 70% fans in the stadium.
I'll start with the fans. I think, getting fans back in the stadium, is a fantastic thing. We as, cricketers would have missed the fans and missed the support and missed the excitement, of having, fans in the stands. So we welcome that. Recently played, with fans, gradually coming back, and, it gives you a different feel to what we were playing over the last, 15 months, or so. So that's really, really good. We look forward to that. We also, in terms of the DRS, I think it's good because what we want as cricketers and individuals is to get the right decision. And whichever way to get the right decision, if it's the use of the technology in different ways to get the right decision, I think we all for that, because we want to have, consistency, going forward. So we actually, look forward to that. Is the third part of the question?
The third part of the question was regarding the drinks break.
Yeah, again, with drinks, the humidity and the heat here is very, very tough. We came here about a month back, and even during the day, you couldn't really go outside to be on a balcony when you were going to training and stuff. It was really, really difficult. So I think they're taking the players' well-being into consideration, and kudos to the management or the ICC for thinking about that and putting that in place. Because as you can see, during COVID times, sometimes how difficult it can be, because in football, at different times when they started, they used to have these sort of drinks break because of the heat and what COVID would have done, to individuals as well. So I think that's great.
And now the actual final question from today's engagement, Visham Lalman. He'd like to know, how much easier is your job made when you have other leaders in the dressing room, such as Dwayne Bravo, Chris Gayle, Andre Russell, Jason Holder, and now even Ravi Rampal?
It makes your job, a bit easier. It makes you have to think about other things rather than have to deal with every single thing. But as I said, what we have gathered is a group of experienced guys, as you rightly said. A couple of guys in the management as well, senior figureheads who, again, sort of play that role. So, I look forward to playing with these guys alongside these guys. Dwayne Bravo has been, tremendous as well as a leader. Obviously leaving one franchise, going to another, winning another championship trophy, into another final. Chris being around, cricket for a very, very long time, and, passing on his knowledge to the younger guys, experienced bowler like Ravi Rampal, as you mentioned, coming back. So guys to deal with the bowling, guys to deal with the batting. And, again, we put all these things together. Hopefully we can just get that right mix, when we step onto that cricket field, and we all flow, to that sort of calypso rhythm and play, like, West Indian team.
Guys, on behalf of the squad here on the ground and the wider organization of Cricket West Indies, I'd just like to say thank you for taking time out of your schedules to be here with us. And on your behalf, I'd like to say thanks for the skipper for taking time out of his schedule to be here to answer your questions. Nicholas, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to be here with us today.
No problem, Dario. Good night, everyone. Good morning. Good afternoon.
So the first questions of today's engagement are going to be from Leighton Levy. Leighton, please unmute your mic and proceed.
Good morning, everyone. How are you doing?
All good.
All right, good. Nicholas, I have a couple of questions and I'll make them brief. 85 runs in 11 innings in the IPL. I asked you this question before during the CPL, and you said you would have turned things around, which you did. You got a 75 against the Talawas, and you ended the season averaging 32, which is pretty solid for the CPL season. But in the IPL, your form has fallen off. Even you yourself have admitted on your Instagram that it was not the season that you wanted. Would it serve you to be higher up the order, you think, for you to rediscover the form that we all know that you're capable of? Or is it that there are other things that you need to work on to get that consistency going?
Good night. That's a good question. I just felt like the IPL, it's gone, it's done for me. I just felt like I just have to refocus and go again. I felt like, I know personally I've let myself down in terms of not sticking with my process long enough. I felt like I rushed the results a lot, and I paid the price for it. And that's that. And you could see that in my scores. So it's just for me to refocus now, hit the nets, work hard, refocus, and plan again. Simple as that.
Second question, and I'll start with a comment. Unfortunately, I missed the session with Mr. Pollard yesterday, where it seems to be a narrative that if you ask questions that are not in line with, I don't know, they're not positive, and I use that in inverted quotes, that you're against the West Indies players, which, as a journalist, what I will say to that comment from Mr. Pollard is that we ask the questions that the public is asking, and it's our job to get those answers. With that being the background of my question, is that do the players feel like the media in the region especially are against them? Or, can you give us an idea of what the thinking is among the players?
To be honest, you guys have your job to do. We have our job to do as well. So, if we flip the script a bit and we question you guys about your colleagues and, whatever the case is, it's an awkward position. We're not in a position to, answer those questions. And as Pollard would have said yesterday, everything's about positivity. We are very close to the tournament. So we don't want to be focusing on who's not here, why this guy is here, who's not selected. To be honest, maybe 1 week away from a big tournament. Our focus is trying to win, basically. And if we don't win, the media, the fans, they're gonna bash us. So if we can just keep things as simple as possible and just focus on what we can, whoever is selected, that's up to the selectors. Chairman or selector, they can answer those questions. We as players, that's not our job.
Fair enough. But you do realize that the reason why we are here is because we support you guys, right?
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
All right, cool. Take it easy. All the best during the World Cup, though. I hope your form returns because we know what you're capable of, huh?
Thank you, buddy.
We'll move on to one question from Anmar Goodrich Boyce. Anmar, we are willing to take 2 questions per journalist. Please proceed.
Hi, good morning, Nicholas. Good morning, everyone. My question is, in 11 innings for the Punjab Kings, you have 85 runs, I think it is, an average of 7.7. Are you concerned about the dip in form ahead of the World Cup, Pooran?
No, I'm not concerned. Not at all. To me, my cricket has been based on confidence and my intent. To be honest, I left the first half of the season, scoring 20 runs in 5, 6, 7 games. And I came and I did decent in the last 3 series, so West Indies and CPL. So no, again, it's about my process. Continue to believe in my process, having faith in my process, and simple as that. My confidence, is very high. I have no doubt in my mind that I can go and execute my game plan. I know do good for the team. So it's a different environment as well. We can't really talk about Punjab and West Indies cricket team. It's 2 different things in the World Cup. It's just games. A lot of cricketers and a lot of sportsmen. We have bad times. We have bad times, but that's fine. All cricketers do have that patch, and we come out of it. And I wouldn't say it's a patch for me because I came into the second leg of IPL batting really good for West Indies and Guyana and CPL. So to me, it's not form. If you really think about it, I haven't really faced much balls, in all honesty. So it's just for me to give myself that chance.
What are some of the personal targets that you've set for yourself?
I don't set personal targets, in all honesty. I just do what's required of me, what the team is required of me. Simple as that. My focus and my goal is to try my best to win games for West Indies. If that's batting 2 overs, so be it. If it's batting 10, 15 overs, 20 overs, then that's my job. So no personal goals. T20 is an inconsistent game, but my goal is just to get better each and every game.
Thanks, Nicholas, and all the best, bro.
Thank you.
Jelani Beckles.
Hi, thank you, Dario. Jelani here from the Trinidad Newsday. Hi, Nicholas. When West Indies won the World Cup in 2016, you were just coming back from getting back into cricket after your unfortunate accident in 2015. We're just a few days away from the World Cup now. how does it feel to be in such an important role as vice captain and about to help the West Indies win another T20 title? How does it feel to finally reach this point? Thanks.
To be honest, I never really processed it that way. I've been playing a lot of cricket for the last 2 years, and I just see going into the World Cup as another game representing West Indies. But as you said that, I'm sitting and I'm thinking about it. Obviously, it's a big achievement for me as well, because I remember the last World Cup, I was now recovering from my injury, and I was always thinking about T20 World Cup. I wanted to be a part of a T20 World Cup. So now processing it now, obviously is a big achievement for me as well. Obviously being vice captain. So that's something big for me. It was never one of my goals to be, a West Indies captain or vice captain, but I'll take it. It's my job, man. I'm happy, and I'm happy I could contribute. In any way, supporting Polly and the coach. That's basically my job, and it's a proud moment for me, and my family as well. So, very anxious and looking forward to the opportunity.
And one more question for me. Your teammate Shimron Hetmeyer is starting to find some form at the back end of the IPL. How does it feel to see your teammate, starting to get some good form?
It's always wonderful to see, Hetty batting properly. He had his ups and downs as well, but it's very nice, especially at the IPL stage. It's one of it is the biggest T20 tournaments, T20 leagues around the world, and it's nice to see him take back to responsibility. We as West Indian players, West Indies fans, we have asked him to battle responsibility over the years, and it's nice to see that he's really maturing and he's getting scores and he's helping his team win games, which is more important.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Ian Wasson.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Vice Skipper. Well, you have been playing non-stop cricket for the past 6, 7, 8 months or so, from West Indies to IPL, back to West Indies to CPL, now back to the IPL, now into the World Cup. How have you been coping with being in the bubble for so long, being away from family and friends? How are you coping? What do you do to cope?
To be honest, there's not much you can do in a bubble. Bubble life is very difficult, especially moving from one bubble to the next without getting a break. To me, I obviously felt it earlier on this year as well. A lot of players felt the fatigue in the bubble, but as professionals, we have to suck it in and take it. But there's not much to do in the bubble, to be honest. Some of the hotels are nice, some is not nice. So it's just about, finding something to read, finding something to watch on Netflix, spend some time on YouTube, spend some time, just reflecting, doing some research, trying to get better in the videos. But it's very difficult, and you will only know how difficult it is when you actually spend some time in this bubble. So I'd like for you guys to spend some time in this bubble. It's difficult. It's tough.
All right, man. Thanks, man. All the best.
Thank you.
Brandon Collett.
Hi, good day, Pooran. Hope all is well. My question to you is, what's your assessment of the playing conditions there in the United Arab Emirates, and what is required for the West Indies to win the T20 World Cup?
Good question. I believe first of all, the conditions here, it's nice. It's nice to bat in Abu Dhabi and Dubai. Sharjah is a tough track. Although it's a small ground, it's a tough track. But Abu Dhabi and Sharjah, it's nice wickets. You realize in the nighttime that there's a lot of dew here as well. So batting second is a really good option once you win the toss. I think the toss is very important, in the night games, especially at Dubai and Abu Dhabi. The day games in Abu Dhabi and Sharjah, it's a fair game. It's a fair game. The ball will spin a bit, it stops a bit, but it's a fair game in the daytime. And at Sharjah, it's anybody game at Sharjah, whoever performs best. But for us to be successful, it's simple. Make good plans and stick with it as much as possible. I think it's more about mental toughness in this World Cup and who could endure the pressure as much as possible. I think we have a lot of experienced players, a lot of young players as well, young talented players who have a lot of skills. So it's just for us to lean on those experienced players and cope with the pressure, because it's a World Cup. It's a World Cup, but fortunate for us, we have a lot of guys who have won a World Cup twice already, and that would be a plus for us. And it's just for us to make our plans and stick with it as best as possible. We have a captain we have a captain in Pollard, Dwayne Bravo and Chris Gale. They've played the most amount of T20 games when you put it together. So a lot of experience there, and we believe in their leadership skills as well. So we have all faith in them that they can come up with some really good plans. And as a bowling unit and a batting unit, we'll try our best to execute. And once we do that, then the results will take care of itself.
Greetings, Nicholas. How you doing? This is Lennox already here.
Hi, Lennox.
Yeah, man. West Indies CWI social media posted a video with yourself and Chris Gale going out to have a knock, and the caption says "Universe Boss" and "Baby Universe Boss." Are you willing to take that title for this World Cup?
To be honest, I don't want to take anything now after the World Cup, because you can ask me that question again. But for now, it's just about focusing on myself. That's it.
Right. And I know Gale, I mean, we've heard the comments, some people saying that he should be there, he shouldn't be there whatsoever. But how important is a person like Gale, batting with him and having him in the team and in the setup?
Very, very important. As much as everyone question why this, whatever the case is, 14,000 T20 runs don't come by guess. That's one. Just batting out in the middle, experience again, talking about intent, talking about taking down players, talking about when to go, when not to go. You don't get that. Not much people know how to play. Not much players know how to win T20 games or even T20 leagues or titles. That experience is very valuable for us. Like today, for instance, batting with him today in practice, trying my best to learn as much as I can, even in that short space of time while we're batting there. It's valuable. You don't get that just so. That's experience, and we are very happy in this group here. Even off the cricket field, he's someone who will support you 100% and back you 100%. We talk about positivity. He's one of the most positive guys we have in the Caribbean and in this team here. So that's it. That's it for me here. That's it for me in terms of answering those questions about Chris. He's a special human being, and only when you play cricket with him and against him, then you know how it feels to have him around. For instance, he can make 10 runs of 20 balls, but just his presence make captains change their plans. It's things like that you look at, when you're playing T20 games. For instance, Chris Gale is batting and your trump card is maybe a leg spinner or left from orthodox. You mean and use them in the right timing. So all these things you consider when you're looking at T20 cricket, But the fact of Chris Gale being in a team and in that 11, that changes our captain plans because, as I said, 14,000 T20 runs don't come just so.
All right, respect for that answer, man.
Thanks, Lennox. Leighton Levy has a couple other questions, and we are willing to take repeat questions. However, the engagement will be finished in less than 5 minutes or so.
All right, Nicholas, again. Wicket keeping, do you see yourself keeping Jordan's World Cup, or will the rule be rotated? And what's your stance on that? Would you rather not be, or would you prefer to be wicket keeping during the tournament? And the second question, since we're short on time, is, since the training sessions have begun, how much emphasis is being put on the rotating the strike? Something that your captain, Pollard, has said that is very important if we're going to get the scores necessary to be able to go on and win the World Cup.
To answer the first one, once selected, it doesn't matter to me. Wicket keeping or not, it doesn't matter to me, but it's my job as well. So it doesn't matter if I wicket keep or not. Once whatever the captain required, and I'm fine to do it. To be honest, we, for the last couple months actually, from the Caribbean, from the last 3 series in the Caribbean, everything was around singles. We as a group, we spoke about it, we chat about it, and we have players to play certain roles, in all honesty. As a batting group, we want to get better. We want to improve. Yes, singles is a part of the game as well, but our focus is not too much on singles. We have the most, we won 2 World Cups with the same problem, to be honest. not getting singles, but yet still we win 2 World Cups. So I don't think the emphasis is on getting singles. It's more about intent and playing smart cricket, and that's it. As simple as that. But there is times that we know we'll have to put the ego aside and grind deep for the team. And if that's batting a dot ball or trying to get a single, we'll do that. But yes, the group is, we actually have net sessions. We have net sessions and we have outdoor sessions where, we have match scenarios and we are trying our best to, play to our strengths, which is, also play to our strengths, but also play and stay into the conditions, which is obviously finding a way to get a single, how to get a single. So we are working, we're not the best against singles, but it's a working process and we believe in our process and we believe in our teammates. So hopefully we can get a few more singles and get more consistent scores.
All right, thank you so much.
No problem.
And Brandon Collett had a final question of today's engagement when he placed in the chat. I know a lot of us would have seen social media posts with yourself and MS Dhoni having a talk there. So he wants to know if MS Dhoni is an inspiration to you, and he just wants you to reflect a little bit on that chat. He wants to know what you guys were saying.
Yeah, definitely. I enjoy watching him bat. He's someone I look at a lot, especially wicket keeping, being a finisher, playing a tough role in a T20 game, even 50 over cricket. We just spoke about the game, to be honest. We spoke about the amount of time we have in T20 cricket, although we think there's not much time. Being smart in certain situations, weighing your options as well. And, just listening to him about it. It obviously is something Paulie also chats about, Dwayne chats about it a lot. So whatever he's saying, these guys already told me and we already had a conversation, but just hearing it from him and, just listening how calm he is about it. It's everyone makes mistakes, but the conversation was all about intent. What is intent, and how we go about it. It's simple. We didn't go into a deep conversation, but some simple things were said, and I don't want to share it here. Obviously, it will be over the news, so it wouldn't be advice to Pooran alone. But yeah, he had some nice things to say about me, and I really appreciate it. Yeah. Obviously, taking some time off to share some knowledge. So, but I really enjoyed the conversation with him, and hopefully, I can take his advice and move one step forward with my career and my batting.
All right. Thank you for joining us today, Nicholas. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule. And today was a very tough training session and obviously getting back late. So we really appreciate the effort to be here. I want to say thanks to the media also for joining and ensuring that you guys do bring some of these, tough but worthwhile questions that we think are important in the lead up to the World Cup. So I'm just going to
Yeah. So, guys, you heard it there from the folks. First of all, you heard from the coach. That's Phil Simmons, Coach Phil Simmons, and then you also heard from the captain, Kieron Pollard, and then just recently the vice captain, Nicholas Pooran. I want to say thanks to Dario Bartley and also CWI Media for providing those videos. Okay, it was very timely indeed, and I appreciate the work you're doing, Dario, in Dubai, as well as CW Media providing all the information regarding the West Indies. Lots of information provided. Enjoyed it indeed. Thought Kieron get a bit festy obviously, and some of the questions, it could be so that is it right that the point he was making regarding the media asking the question? Well, I understand it in both sides. He is claiming that this particular journalist, every time he gets the opportunity to ask a question, he has to do on selection. And, which on the other hand, it's the right of the journalist to ask the question, okay? It's the right of Kieron Pollard to answer or not to answer, but a lot was discussed there. But folks, it's the opportunity, especially as fans, to support West Indies, the 2 times champion, defending champion this time around, and the opportunity to be, 3. And by the way, we do have our own Grenadian Andrew Fletcher in the mix, and there'll be a lot of questions about the selection, and you always find that, and I think Kieron made the point that no matter what team or who you select or who have been selected, there will always be a debate. There will always be questions about the selection policy. Cricket, football, no matter the sport, there will always be that. You can't really get away from that. Always the, given reasons as to why this person was selected over this person, and everyone has a different opinion regarding selection. I always say the selectors, they know better. They have their criteria. They can give reasons as to why, and I leave it up to them. I'm there to report. In some instances, I'm there to support. But thank you very much once again. Coming up on Saturday, it was Saturday Sports Special. We'll be speaking with the president and managing director of Special Olympics Europe. He's also the senior advisor on international development, Special Olympics Incorporated. That's David Evangelista. Okay, so we're going international. We'll be speaking with the president and managing director of Special Olympics Europe. Well, in what we'll be speaking about in particular is a recent forum involving regional sports ministers and the Special Olympics Caribbean. And we'll be talking all about Special Olympics in the Caribbean. Very important indeed. And we'll be speaking about that. And coming up on next Thursday, we'll be speaking with the mother of Breland Taplin. Yes, the mother of Breland Taplin will be on our program. She has quite a bit to talk about. She wants to talk about it. And the TalkSports program will have an exclusive with the mother of Breland Taplin, Contina Griffin, on our program next Thursday, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you once again for being on our program. The invitation is yours to join me on Saturday. Yes, Saturday this time around at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll be talking to the president of the Special Olympics Europe, and this president and managing director of Special Olympics Europe will be talking all about this new initiative to assist Special Olympics in the Caribbean. Once again, thank you very much and see you on Saturday.